Today, we're diving into some fascinating analysis on XRP that could have a huge impact on its future price movements. Have you heard about the bent fork and how it could potentially push XRP to $17? Sounds ambitious, right? All right, let's get started with the basics, right? Crypto analyst 𝗕𝗓𝗓 has introduced a unique price structure called the bent fork. This isn't your everyday chart pattern. It's a special tool that 𝗕𝗓𝗓 uses to predict where XRP's price might be headed. Now, the bent fork was first introduced last June, and it's been a key part of his analysis ever since. So what exactly is the bent fork? Imagine a fork where that's kind of been slightly bent, and it creates four different curved lines, yellow trend lines, labeled kind of A, B, C, and D. These lines form a shape that helps us identify crucial price zones for XRP. The top of the fork, zone D, is where 𝗕𝗓𝗓 sees XRP's potentially, hitting that $17 target. But to get there, XRP needs to break through a couple other important levels first. Let's take a quick look at where XRP stands right now. At the moment of recording, XRP is trading at around 52 cents, which is actually up slightly over the last 24 hours. Despite this most recent move to the upside, some interesting developments are on the horizon that could change the game for XRP. According to 𝗕𝗓𝗓's bent fork analysis, XRP needs to breach two critical zones to sustain upward momentum. These zones are like, I guess, checkpoints that XRP must overcome to keep climbing towards that ambitious $17 target. First up is Zone B, which aligns with the $1.10 price level. This isn't just any number. $1 has been a significant milestone for XRP since it fell below this level back in December 2021. 𝗕𝗓𝗓 points out that breaking this $1.10 would be a strong signal for XRP's resilience and a move away from its long-term accumulative phase that started around April 2022. Why is this important? Well, surpassing $1.10 would indicate that XRP is gaining strength and is ready to push further. It shows that the market is confident in XRP's potential, moving away from the doubts that have held it back for so long. Next up is the Zone Z, pegged at $3.50. This level is right near XRP's all-time high from January 2018, making it a major resistance zone on a macro scale. If XRP can break through $3.10, it would validate the bullish trend that possibly turn this resistance into a new support zone, I should say. Now, 𝗕𝗓𝗓 believes that closing above $3.50 would mark a structural shift for XRP, paving the way for even more significant growth. It's like reaching the peak of a mountain and then deciding to climb even higher. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the $17 target. This is where the bent fork's upper trend line, Zone D, comes into play. According to 𝗕𝗓𝗓, achieving $17 would require a massive 3,265% spike approximately from its current position. Now, while this sounds incredibly ambitious, it's important to understand the context and what it would mean for the crypto market. However, 𝗕𝗓𝗓 also warns that hitting $17 might lead to a substantial retracement, especially if a bear market kicks in. Historical data shows that XRP could face an 80% pullback, bringing it back down to around $3.50 in that particular scenario. $3.50 would serve as a critical support level during this next kind of market downturn, helping XRP maintain stability even in the face of a dip. Now, what do the community, or how are the community reacting to kind of all these price predictions? On platforms like X and on Reddit, the sentiment is a bit of mixed, a mix of optimism and caution, of course. Many XRP enthusiasts are excited about the potential for big price surge, seeing the bent fork as a solid framework for growth. Posts like XRP to $17, here we come, and 𝗕𝗓𝗓 nailed it with the bent fork are trending among supporters. However, there are some skeptics who are more cautious. They point out that while the predictions are exciting, the crypto market is notoriously volatile, and reaching $17 is no small feat. Comments like hope for the best but stay realistic, and $17 is ambitious but XRP has potential, reflect the balanced view of the community. Now, What's the big takeaway here? Well, the bent fork structure identified by 𝗔𝗔𝗡 provides a detailed kind of roadmap for XRP's price potential and those movements to the upside. By breaking through $1.10 and $3.50, we could see XRP setting the stage for an incredible surge towards $17. But as always, it's important to stay informed and consider both the exciting possibilities and the inherent risks. For those holding XRP or considering investing, these insights offer a glimpse into kind of what might lie ahead, whether you're a bullish supporter or a cautious observer. Understanding these key zones can help you make more informed decisions in the ever-changing crypto market. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts and take a look at what I think is going to go on here, or what's going to happen with the XRP price action. Okay guys, let's go and spend some time on our daily XRP chart. So this is XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart here, and we were talking about this short. We wanted to obviously make sure that we locked in those profits on this most recent pull to the downside. Good move to the upside of everything that's going on with the US election. If we didn't come out of this short, we probably should have done by now, specifically since we had the move at 48 cents and then another move coming down to kind of get into those lower ranges that we saw before at 49.17. Okay, so some good trading opportunities were here on the daily time frame, so we should have locked those profits in when it comes to kind of like a trading perspective. And we obviously could have been thinking about the long positions as we kind of approach that 49.17 with a move back towards that kind of 50 EMA, 50 EMA, 50 SMA, and of course the 200 EMA. Now, well, I'm going to remove this off the chart now because we are done with that short, and of course we can acknowledge that there is a bit of a problem here. And talking about trading, Bluefin has got your back. If you're a new user and incur losses of $100 or more trading, Bitcoin USDT, Ethereum USDT, or Solana USDT during the event period, Bluefin will cover you with a $100 futures bonus. It's like a safety net for your trading journey. Here's how you could qualify. Step 1, sign up using the special link in the description down below. Step 2, open and close positions on BTC USDT, Ethereum USDT, or Solana USDT pairs during the event period. Step 3, if you end up with losses totaling $100 or more, you'll receive a $100 refund bonus credited as a futures bonus. There's a few things that you do need to keep in mind though. This promotion is limited to the first 50 users, so it's first come, first serve. Only new users who don't already hold a futures bonus are eligible. The bonus is valid for 7 days from when it's credited, so be sure to make the most of it. And if you're ready to trade with a bit more confidence, click the link in the description down below to sign up and be among the first 50 users to take advantage of Bluefin's $100 refund bonus. Don't miss this opportunity to reduce your risks while you explore the market. Right, so it's all great to talk about $17 XRP price targets, but obviously that's not going to happen right away. We're talking about that kind of happening over the next several months, not something that's going to happen, instantaneously today, tomorrow, next week. It doesn't work like that. And we do have some ground for concern. Right here, we have a death cross on the daily time frame. Okay, this death cross is very important to us for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to go through and talk about why that is. But we can see that the death cross, which essentially is the 50 SMA, the yellow line here, crossing lower than the 200 exponential moving average, the white line. Now, what essentially does that mean? It means that the short-term price action, the price action over 50 candles, so 50 days worth of price action, is now trading lower than the longer-term price action, which was 200 candles, the 200 exponential moving average. Okay, so basically short-term price action is lower than long-term price action, and that is deemed bearish by the community or by traders. Now, the issue that you have here is that that is, of course, just reflecting what's already happened. Now, traders will react to it, but it isn't really indicative of major movements that you want to be kind of considering. But there are a few other things that I'm concerned about in the kind of very near future. Okay, so on here we can see that we are approaching the overbought on our stochastic RSI. So our stochastic RSI is moving up towards this overbought. Anything above 80 is overbought. We are already overbought on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and 8 hour. So we are going to be expecting a move to the downside, even though we're seeing a lot of green in the market at the moment. But that isn't really even the major concern that I have at the minute. If we take a look at the relative strength index here, bring that into play, you can of course see that we have some very, very interesting kind of stuff going on with our relative strength index. There's no divergences being noted here. Okay, everything is stacking up quite nicely on the daily time frame from that kind of perspective. But my concerns really kind of come in when we start taking a look at the MACD histogram. Okay, so I turn off the actual lines. If we come into settings here, you can see I turn off the MACD and the signal lines. They just clutter up the chart. All I'm really interested in is that histogram. Okay, and the reason for that is that we can see within this histogram some really, really interesting things going on for XRP. Okay, so let me zoom in just a little bit here so you guys can see this. What we have going on here is, unfortunately, a kind of move in the price action where we have lower lows on price and we have higher lows on our histogram. That was a bullish divergence, of which we can see happening in here. Now, of course, something major is happening. A catalyst is about to happen. As we can see here, we are losing momentum as we are pushing up, kind of what you would expect to see. And we can also see that our selling pressure is also losing momentum as well. Okay, so basically, XRP's price action is about to kind of see a major shift of some kind. We don't know what direction that's necessarily going to be in, but considering the stochastic RSI is in that kind of area of overbought on all those timeframes, the expectation is more than likely that we're going to see another pull to the downside, and that leads us into the idea of maybe finding a good entry for a short position in the coming kind of weeks or so. Obviously, nothing is instantaneous. We're just noting what we're seeing in the charts. So although we've seen a bit of a push to the upside on our daily time frame, specifically since the 3rd of November here, we've moved up by 7.5%. We are likely to find resistances still here on the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, 200 EMA. Okay, so the first area of resistance is going to come in at 53.73 cents. And then after that, we are looking at the 50 SMA and the 200 EMA. They're currently sat at 54.73 and 54.75 respectively. So essentially what we're looking at here is momentum being weak as we push up. If we do in fact push up higher than the previous swing highs that we see over here, it isn't actually going to tell us anything because the previous wick high for the momentum on the histogram comes in at 56.66. So unless price moves up higher than 56.66 and our histogram stays low, there's no bearish divergences noted there on the daily time frame. On the smaller time frames, there are bigger concerns with kind of divergences being noted, specifically on things like the 1 hour time frame. But when it comes to the daily time frame, we're not that bearish, but we are looking, unfortunately, to see another pullback in XRP's price action. Okay, that is all before we kind of get into the bigger moves out towards that $1 level. Now, as I kind of think about, what's going on here from that kind of point of view, if I zoom out for that kind of area of $1 and so forth, we can already see that there's still this idea that we break down a little bit further. No guarantees, of course, but it's something that we should be mindful of. And if I zoom out of this, you can see that we are just coiling up and getting ready for these bigger moves to the upside. My initial kind of thought patterns were around this 1.618 area of the fibs. That comes in at $1.04. If we can get above $1.04, I think we have a strong chance of actually claiming that $1.10, which of course was a part of that bigger macro piece of analysis. So taking a look at that, I think that's really where we want to be thinking about. Okay, so it does look strong, but obviously there's a lot of resistance to get through on that journey, right? We do have 75 to 85 cents, the previous kind of targets that I've been talking about. That's up here, still very much valid, even though we have some short-term bearish potential. There's still some longer-term or mid-term bullish potential here as well, with 1.618 being $1.04.12. That is going to be a big catalyst for further moves to the upside for XRP's price action. Okay, if I zoom out even further, you can really start to take into consideration everything that is going on here for XRP, and we are going to be looking at testing out the previous highs of 2021, and I feel pretty confident on that in 2025. I do think we're likely to see that kind of progression in the market. Moving out to $3.50 is going to be tough, but if we can, then I am actually a little bit more conservative than EGRAG, for example, because I see somewhere between these two numbers, basically $5.59 to $11.25 rather than $17. $17 is possible, of course. It is right up here on the 1.382, but if we hit 1.382, it does mean that actually I would see a surge higher than $17. Okay, and the reason for that would be the relationship between wave counts and the Fibonacci sequencing. Typically between 1 and 1.236 would typically be your area for a 3-wave move, which is kind of the expectation that I have. However, anything above 1.236 would indicate that we actually have more of a 5-wave move. And that can come in a couple of different ways. We can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsively, or we could have something like a W, X, Y, X, and Z, which will be the more probable one in my opinion. So of course, anything above this area could lead us to the $17. And if we hit $17 without any kind of major correction between 1.236 and 1.382, or between 11.25 and 17.36, as in there isn't any major correction in that gap, then we would actually be looking for potentially more than $17, heading out more towards $20 and maybe even progress a little bit further. But for now, of course, we have to think about the more kind of realistic numbers. 5 to 11 would be kind of where I would think, and of course it would have to see a significant push above and beyond what we are seeing at the moment. We would look at this as a macro scale on something to the effect of kind of WXY initially, and then have a kind of correction briefly before completing another potential WXY to kind of take us out to these slightly higher ranges. So a choppy market, I think, for XRP in that next kind of bullish market. Some definitely emotional reactions will be seen in the market, I would have thought, because I'm not expecting kind of big straight lines or anything like that when it comes to XRP's price action. But for the most part, we are tracking quite nicely on XRP. We can, of course, see down in these lower ranges that everything is kind of tracking quite nicely as well. I would be thinking about short positions if I were to be trading on XRP, so I want to keep that in mind. But for the most part, yeah, I think everything's kind of playing out kind of as expected and in line with those expectations that we have when it comes to XRP price action. So of course, guys, it's just my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts as I see it. Obviously, you have other analysts predicting out some bigger, more bullish targets and numbers. You can let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And of course, if you don't want to leave them there, you can join us in our free Discord server and we can have more meaningful conversations down in the Discord, which is linked in the description. Guys, if you found this video helpful, informative, smash a like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to check out that video right there. It's not one that you want to miss.